I'd like to call the Educator Effectiveness Committee to order. I'm replacing Ms. Doris Voce. She had to leave out. Roll call, please.
Dr. Holly Bofi is not in attendance. Mr. Castile?
Here.
Dr. Davis? Here. Mr. Davis?
Present.
Miss Ellis? Here. Mr. Garvey?
Here.
Miss Holloway?
Here.
Mr. Morris?
Here.
Miss Orange Jones?
Here.
Mr. Rock?
Here.
And Miss Voce is not in attendance. Mr. Christier?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we move forward with the agenda, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege to recognize a special person here with us today, and that is the 2021 Louisiana State Principal of the Year, Dion Bradford. Where is she? There she is. Yay! Congratulations to you. We're so proud of you for your hard work and your leadership and commitment, dedication. Thank you. Do you have something to say? Ms. Dion, do you have something to say? No. Okay, thank you. And, ready? Next item, please.
Your consent agenda is ready for your approval, adding items 7.1 through 7.9.
Motion to receive.
To approve.
Dr. Davis and Mr. Tommy Rock. Any board member objection? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Your first item is on page 8, item 3.1, consideration of an update report regarding the Teacher Certification Appeals Council. The LDE recommendation is to ratify the minutes of the TCAC meeting held November 12, 2020, and to approve the appointment of Mr. James Kennedy to the council for a term of 4 years from 2021 through 2025.
Motion to receive, please. Yes, Ms. Ellis and Dr. Davis. Any discussion, any comments? Board objection? Motion carried. Thank you. Next item.
Your next item is on page 18, item 4.1, consideration of a report on the teacher exit interview system. The LDE recommendation is to receive the 2019-2020 Teacher Exit Survey Report and direct LDE staff to submit the report to the House and Senate Education Committees by January 15th, 2021.
Motion to receive. Ms. Ellis. Mr. Castile. Seconded. Do we have a report? It's in the packet. Please check your packet. You want, what page is that on?
18.
18. Please review, or most of you have reviewed it. Any questions? Any comments? Discussion? With no objection, motion carries. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 27, item 5.1, consideration of recognizing Mr. Christopher Deere, 2020 Louisiana Teacher of the Year, for his service on the BESE Educator Effectiveness Committee, and introducing Ms. Natalie Roy, 2021 Louisiana Teacher of the Year. The recommendation is to receive.
Thank you. To receive, Mr. Castile, Dr. Davis. Yes, Mr. Davis. Would you?
We'll go to the front podium.
And you can use the mic at the podium, Mr. Davis. We want to hear all about Chris. We appreciate him.
Booby traps everywhere down here. This will be great. I think it's great. You don't get too close to the social distance, you know, and reputation. So we got to stay, you know. All right. So it's my honor to recognize the 2020 Louisiana State Teacher of the Year and thank him for his time on our service on our board here. Mr. Christopher Deere, who's an Orleans Parish teacher at Benjamin Franklin High School, teacher of U.S. history. And no one might say history teacher, but I really think it's appropriate for you. It's teacher of U.S. history. It's the right way to look at that. Mr. Deere is a published author. He is also the son of a longtime teacher, He is additionally the holder of 2 master's degrees, one in education and one in education administration. He has participated as a Hollyhock Fellow at Stanford University. Additionally, he's also participated in professional development programs at Harvard Business School. And he's been featured in the New York Times, the Washington Post, Politico, Education Week, Canadian Broadcast Corporation, you can stop me anytime here, The Today Show, NPR, and CNN with Anderson Cooper for his work in creating equitable classrooms and his student advocacy. And I'll say that if you don't follow Chris on Twitter, you should definitely do so. I enjoy following your work, seeing your commentary on your classrooms, on your students, on the world at large. It is great to have a representative from our state. You've done a tremendous job with your role. We certainly appreciate what you do for your students in the classroom and what you do for the profession as well. And thank you for your time and your input on the board with us in your role. So, without further ado, I don't know, do we have a photographer? Johnny, are you? I want to present this to the board to you, in recognition of your time and service. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm going to get out of your way.
All right. Thank you, board, and thank you, Dr. Brumley, for having me for this year. It's been an interesting year, but what a year to represent Louisiana, and I'm super happy to do so. It was quite an honor. So just as I was introduced, I'd like to introduce the 2021 Louisiana Teacher of the Year. And I know it's been a long day, but I do feel that her colorful bio should be most certainly read. I'd like to introduce Natalie Roy as the 2021 Teacher of the Year. Natalie Roy teaches Roman technology, classical mythology, and Latin at Glasgow Middle School in East Baton Rouge Parish. Her classes feature interactive lessons about the ancient Romans and Greeks infused with STEM, a unique curricular idea that has afforded her many grant opportunities. Roy is a graduate of public school in Avoyelles Parish, where both her parents were teachers. Roy studied classical archaeology at the American Academy in Rome as a Fulbright scholar and at the American School of Classical Studies at Athens. A national board certified teacher, Roy has published articles on Roman technology with Cambridge University Press and the American Classical League, with whom she has partnered during the pandemic to offer free, live-stream, hands-on lessons on Roman technology. Although most of Roy's students had never been exposed to classical mythology, under her instruction, 63% of students at Approaching Basic or Basic rose to 80% at Mastery or Advanced. Additionally, her Latin students went from 60% at Approaching Basic to 100% Mastery or Advanced. Dedicated to service and citizenship, Roy is a longtime volunteer with Girl Scouts Louisiana East, where she leads 2 troops. As a lifelong Girl Scout, she strives through teaching to be a person of courage, confidence, and character who makes the world a better place. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce the new 2021 Louisiana Teacher of the Year, Natalie Roy.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here, and I look very forward to getting to know BESE board and working with y'all in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Madam Chair.
Chris? I'm sorry, you want to speak about it? Go ahead, before I say it.
Yeah, if I could, I just wanted to share with the board. I had the experience of participating in one of Ms. Roy's classes recently. And we all value an innovative approach to education. And I was really appreciated my experience there. Her middle school students were mixing octopus ink and preparing to write on papyrus, as the Romans did, the ancient Romans did back in the day. She also provided sponges so that they could erase their markings on the papyrus. And also witnessed some catapults that her students had constructed in a previous lesson. So really appreciate the creative approach, the innovative approach, and all the students were engaged, and it was a very exciting experience for me.
That's great. That's a great story. Thank you, Mr. Morris. Chris, can you please stand again for another point of personal privilege here? Something that we kind of like oversee because it happened after the State Teacher of the Year. Chris was recognized as a finalist in the National Teacher of the Year. And we are so proud of you to represent Louisiana as you've done. And everything that Mr. Davis has said about you is just remarkable for a young educational leader like you. And you've got, like, your destiny is so great. So congratulations to you. Thank you. And we will be seeing more of you. Thank you. Next item, please.
Any opposition?
Excuse me? Oh, any opposition? No opposition, I'm sorry. Technicality with the process here. Thank you. No opposition, motion carried. Next item.
Your next item is on page 28, item 6.1, consideration of revisions to Bulletin 746, Louisiana Standards for State Certification of School Personnel regarding praxis scores. The LDE recommendation is to approve as notice of intent revisions to Bulletin 746 and to approve as a declaration of emergency for a period of 120 days or until adopted as a final rule.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Castile, Ms. Ellis. Any objection to the item? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Your next item is on page 106, item 8.1, consideration of executive session regarding discussion of the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of a person in accordance with Louisiana Revised Statute 4216 regarding certification for the following persons: Shannon Williams Tillis and Phyllis Gibbons Davis.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to go into executive session? Mr. Garvey and Ms. Ellis, second. Is there any public comment or board discussion on this matter before we take a roll call? And no questions. And in order for this motion to pass, 2/3 affirmation vote of members present is required. May I have a roll call, please?
Dr. Brophy is not in attendance. Mr. Castile?
Yes.
Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Davis? Stepped out.
Must step
Ms.
down.
Ellis?
Here.
Yes.
Yes.
Or no? Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Ms. Holloway?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Orange-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Rock?
Yes.
Ms. Voce is not in attendance. Vote of 9 yeas and 0 nays, the motion passes.
Thank you. I will advise the audience that we will be in executive session for the length of time necessary for the discussion. No votes will be taken while the board is in executive session. All votes will be made in public. Additionally, public disclosure is not required of matters discussed in a properly held executive session. At this time, the Educator Effectiveness Committee stands in recess to go into executive session. Thank you. Can I get a motion to reconvene the Educator Effectiveness Committee and continue with the regular order of the agenda to vote on the items discussed in executive session? Motion? Tony? Okay. Mr. Davis? Second, please. Mr. Rock. Next item on the agenda.
Your next item is on page 107, item 8.2, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching certificate appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Shannon Williams Tillis, taken in globo with the item on page 127, item 8.3, consideration of a records review regarding the reinstatement of a Louisiana teaching certificate appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Phyllis Gibbons Davis. The recommendation is to grant, deny, or defer.
Can I have a grant, Mr. Davis grant? Second, please, Mr. Tommy Rock. Any discussion, comments, objection? Motion carried.
This concludes your agenda.